And after we talked to the last person, we decided, well, we had been up for 2 days now, so we're going to lay down a little bit and try to relax up. But it seemed like it wasn't 15 minutes after we lay down. Shadow, one of the dogs that I had picked up about 3 weeks before on the street, I had let her in and I put her in the shed, in the garage, to keep her safe. She started yelling her head off. My wife telling me, hey, go see what's wrong with Shadow. So I got up, and when I went down the hallway, I met the water already almost ankle deep, and it was really coming in. You could hear it coming through the door. The door was already almost bursting open because of the pressure. And I yelled back at her. I said, "Hon, we got water. We gotta start putting furniture up, do something." So she met me in the hallway, and I went in the garage. I let Shadow loose. By that time, she was almost submerged in the water. I had to feel for a little snap on the cage to let her out. And needless to say, she was happy. And she jumped. First thing she did was jump on my neck, almost pulled me down. I had to push her, and I had a ladder going to the manway in case my daughter had given me specific instructions: leave an axe in the attic in case you have to make a hole through the roof to get out. And the way the water was coming in, as fast as it was, I said, the only thing I can do now is go up in the attic and make a hole in the roof. And I got up in that attic, I took 3 swings, and the axe almost come back and hit me in the head because there was no space in the attic for me to swing the axe. I put the axe back down, I come back down. By that time, I was a little bit better than waist deep in water. The refrigerators and all, I topped the door, and I had to jump over the refrigerator with a dog to get back on the other side where my wife was. And she was trying to pick different things up and put them up, and as fast as she picked them up, they were being washed away. And it was a mess. And I said, "Hon," I said, "the only thing we can do," I said, "we're going to try to make it out to the front." I said, "I don't know what we're going to find. Once we open that door, I don't know what to expect. Whether the pressure on the outside is going to be greater than the pressure inside, or what, is something that we're just going to have to face. But we can't stay inside the house." The furniture, the chairs and all, everything that floated was all going in the swirling, like a swirling pool. And we had to push everything away on the side for us to get to the door. It was a very slow walk. And finally, when we got to the door, we had water up to our neck, and it was still coming. Matter of fact, it was a little funny. My wife says, "You were crazy." I said, "Lord, I'm only 5.5 feet." And seemingly the water stayed. To us it looked like the water stayed. It didn't move. At that time we heard our neighbors from the back. Well, we didn't know who they were, but we heard voices. And we started yelling. And they heard us, and they told us that they would meet us around the front of the house. And I can't tell you what it does to you when you are alone, trapped in water, don't know what your next move is, and you hear voices. That is the happiest thing, happiest moment of your life. I will never forget those voices as long as I live. There were 2 people, and we didn't know them, but we were introduced after. They were from our back door street. They came across our yard because their way on their street was blocked. So they come across our yard and they got hooked on our fence. And that's what they were yelling about. The wind was fierce. You couldn't hear it. So you had to yell. Her husband was pulling her on a boat with a rope over his shoulder with a broken neck. He was pulling her through that water. And he was stuck on the fence, not knowing where the handle was, and they were yelling at each other. His wife was telling him more or less which way to go and how to do it and all that sort of thing. And we started yelling, and that's when they heard us, and they got through. And they had a little bitty boat. It wasn't that big a boat, but I wasn't worried about it. I didn't care at that point what side the boat was, if it had a motor or whatever. And we got in the boat, and they brought us to the St. Bernard school. And once we were in that boat, that was the happiest moment of our life. Because when you are not expecting anything, when you don't know what to expect. My wife had already just about given up, so everything was on me. And I kept telling her, I said, honey, you can't give up on me now. If you give up, that puts too much of a load on me. I can't carry you and the dog and everything else. So she kind of buckled down and settled herself again. And we encouraged each other. And that's what all this life is all about. It's about encouraging each other when you're going through a problem. You guys have come in to help us at the time of a crisis, and you put us back on our feet. And that is what we are so thankful about. And that's what, if people all over would realize that this is what God is trying to put together, we were going to be one happy family. You know, everybody separates themselves, and they want to watch TV, and they want to do their own thing, and forget about the person next door. We don't even know who the next person is. And that's not what it's all about. That's not what life is all about. Life is supposed to be a life of fun. We're supposed to have fun together doing different things.